Hi, my name is Brian. This is Nintendo Game Point Plus. This is the first video of the E3 videos that I'm going to be giving my thoughts, where I'm going to give my thoughts on the press conferences and how I reacted to them, how I thought they were. And this is EA's EA Play event. And to be honest, it was in some ways better than I expected, but in other ways it was about what I expected, for good or for worse. And in some ways, I'm wondering what. I was confused. I was left astray, and I was just like, I'm kind of like, this is me. This is the event, and we're kind of spaced out. So let's go through the event. Let's talk about how I felt about it. First off, they started the event with energy. They had a little drum line going on, and I thought that was cool. That was really cool. They had a little drum line for Matt, and I'm like, okay, you're pumping me up. Like, I like this. I like the look of this. I like this. Get some drum action. We're getting a groove in. And then they show actual footage of the game, and I'm like, okay. And then I saw the actor from Moonlight. And then I was like, okay, is this how you're gonna go through not having a celebrity on stage this year? Because that's cheating. But obviously he's in the game for some reason. It's Madden 18, although for some reason I thought it was called Madden 18 Long Shot, but that's the name of the story mode that they introduced here. So, okay, cool. So they showed that off. I I don't, if you read the blogs, I'm not big on sports games, but I still thought it was good. They opened it up. They opened up the show a very strong way, kind of like Ubisoft last year with Just Dance. That was a very strong way to open it. Great job by them. So then the guy came out, the CEO came out, and he was talking about um, experiences and stuff, experience and new gameplay levels. Actually, to be honest, he actually talked about not only Madden, but he also said later in the show there would be a whole half hour dedicated to Star Wars, which was cool. I don't know. I kind of had a brain fart and thought they were doing that now, but then because then I was like, okay, I guess that's okay. But no, they saved it for the end. Uh, what happened next in order? So yeah, he comes out. He tells about some of the games they're going to be showing off. I was a little turned off when he said, there's not a lot of games. Like he said, like 8, and he was right. There was like 8 games they had for this thing, which, uh, okay. So first was Battlefield, according to my notes here. First was Battlefield, which looked cool. I don't play Battlefield, but I have cousins who do, so I can admit that actually looked cool. And the DLC they showed for it, Night Maps and In the Name of the Tsar, it was actually based on history. It actually looked really cool. And the gameplay they showed for it actually looked really good, and I was actually invested in it. Which, you're going to hear me say that throughout this whole thing. I'm invested in it, but uh, and I guess it's time to also talk about the style of the press conference they did. It was not a press conference where they have developers come out on stage and talk a little bit. They didn't have any long interview with someone, technically. They didn't have some long interview with a developer or an actor or someone come out on stage. They had moments where they moved the camera to different areas of people playing the game, which worked and didn't work, and I'll get to how it didn't work when I get to the next section. Uh, so they talked about Battlefield 1, they talked about the night maps, they talked about new game modes coming throughout the year. That looked cool. the gameplay actually made me interested, and I was like, oh, because my cousin has Battlefield, and so I'm like, oh, that actually looks really cool. I'm interested in it. Overall, that was a good part. Then we start going down. Then we just start crashing because then go on about sports. Sports this, sports that. I don't care. They went on this long esports. I know it's something people love. I know people care about it, but I did not care. It was long and slow. And then they moved to FIFA. And then they talk according to this Men in Blazers, which I guess is for I guess I want to say Europe or the another country, who are these big talk show hosts for FIFA. Men in Blazers. If you know them, tell me about them. They talked about FIFA, and they were just talking about how the sport was interesting. And to be honest, the first one they came on, I was interested. I thought they were funny. They again brought energy. I actually chuckled a little bit, but then they kind of started going a little too long. And then they started going into FIFA 18's story campaign about how Alex Hunter returned. I kind of didn't care because I didn't play the original FIFA, and I say the original FIFA. I played FIFA, but I've never saw Alex Hunter. I never experienced Alex Hunter, and so I don't know. At first I was wondering, is Alex Hunter real, or is this all just footage from the game that they got people to film and stuff? I'm thinking the latter, but it's called The Journey. It's coming with FIFA 18. Again, good, but okay. Then we get to something that was awesome, which was Need for Speed Payback. I thought this was cool because they showed gameplay. They showed stuff I cared. They showed the actual game. Before, well, at least when they showed the game, it was cool. When they had that YouTuber come out, and I thought, okay, someone's slurring. This is getting the bumps in the road. Why did we hire him? No offense to that YouTuber. I'm pretty sure I'm positive he's obviously a good YouTuber, but this was kind of like a moment for me. Like, I was wondering, like, why do we have this person here? But when we actually saw the game Need for Speed Payback, it looked really cool. It looked fun. Like, first, you take the perspective of multiple people, they said, through the story mode. So at one point you might be driving one car, and then it shifts to the next person, and then you're driving a different car. Because first they had to race a truck to bust a car out, and then the car sped up, and then it looked it looked cool. I was actually super pumped for that game. So that looked fun. So that was good. It's a shame it's not coming to Switch, but it still looks cool because I have a PS4, so I can see that is a definite pickup for me if I ever choose to get it. So yeah, that looked awesome. Then we moved to EA Originals, and I thought, in my mind, this would be a point to talk about multiple games. No, they talk about one. And they talked about, granted, the game was awesome. It's called A Way Out, and it's a game that forces you to do split screen. It forces you, whether you play online or not. You can do it together or online. You're going to have a split screen. Does not matter. Which I thought was kind of... when the developer came out and talked about the game, how they're saying, yeah, you're going to have to do it. I thought I think that was the highest point of the show, when the developer came out, talked about the game, how much he loved games, how much working with EA helped him, and how he was very proud of this game. That was a highlight to me. And the game looked fun. It's called A Way Out, and it's based on these two guys in prison, and they have to work together to break out of prison and find out the people who framed them, I guess. At least one of them does, I don't know. But the game looked fun. It was kind of had this puzzle element with a little action adventure. It looked really fun. Again, I'm disappointed it's not coming to Switch, but I would be happy to pick up that game on PS4 and PS4, Xbox One. So that looked awesome. So how do you keep up this hype? You drop it a little bit when we get to NBA. Again, I know it's EA, I know it's sports, I know it's something they focus on, but at the same time, I did not care. And I wanted to point this out what I said exactly verbatim. I said this verbatim. Is when they showed gameplay, they had the developer come out and show like a little replay. All they showed was a few seconds of him dodging someone trying to steal the ball and him shooting a basket. And then they cut back to the actual gameplay trailer. You could have saved yourselves a whole 45 seconds, a whole few seconds of that. And I felt that was so unnecessary. That was so unnecessary to me. And although they did announce there was a demo for a story mode called The One. And to me, I didn't care. At least I kind of cared until I remembered it's called NBA Live 18, because I thought it was 2K18, and I thought 2K18 is coming to Switch, not Live. I didn't know there was a difference. So, yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. I skipped something. They talked about their seed development team. Okay? But they also talked about a new IP coming to Project Scorpio, which will be revealed tomorrow at Microsoft's thing. So that got me a little interested, because I was a little interested, like, ooh, like the visuals for the world they were in, like these kind of mech suits, but they're not mech suits, and I'm like, what are these things? It had this kind of had this Halo 4 look to it, and it looked really cool. So, yeah, it's called Anthem, and that looked really fun. At least it looked visually interesting in order for me to pay attention to it tomorrow. So, yeah, Anthem looked cool. NBA Live 18, I already talked about it. So then we get to the bulk of the presentation, which was Star Wars. It was their strongest moment. It was a moment I liked, because I played Battlefront. I like Battlefront. That is a really fun game. I love the Star Wars franchise. And seeing that looked awesome. And they started out with John Boyega's tweet saying, "Where is the story mode?" and how it just became a Moses lead my people, and it just spread out, and suddenly we're seeing stormtroopers and the woman who is playing one of the main characters in the story mode come out and say, "Yeah, story mode's in it. We got new multiplayer. We're showing live gameplay, free updates." It was just awesome. That moment was really cool because it had a lot of energy and power into it. The actress who came out, I believe that she's going to have a good performance. She came out like, "Yeah, what's up? All this stuff you want in the old game, it's coming in the new game. Buy it." And I was convinced that's how she was. It was like she just walked down stage, buy it, and that's how she is. And I like that. I liked her. You should have started with her and then ended on something else. But yeah, what they showed of Star Wars was really cool. I thought it was interesting. I was invested in this point until it dragged, and it only really dragged in the last minute when they went into the live multiplayer demo, which on one hand is good. I liked it, but at the same time I was confused because I thought that was like an extra part of their thing, not of their press conference. And then later turns out the guy came back on and said, "Then now it's the end." So on one hand, it looked cool, but I was a little confused. Like, is this the end of the conference? Can I start working on this video now? Can I go now? No, if they were still playing, and then at the end of the conference. So the gameplay they showed was amazing. They showed Darth Maul. They showed Boba Fett. They showed a little bit of Han Solo. They showed Rey, which was cool and even a little funny when I saw characters that I knew kind of just get shot down. Like, because like it was kind of funny because like, oh yeah, I'm playing as this awesome character. I get shot. And, I just thought it was funny. Like, oh yeah, here's this awesome person, and it still gets shot down. They went through all the character types and how you're going through all the 3 of the stories, all three stories or story universes, I'll say. It looked really cool. That was probably their biggest highlight. The next one would be A Way Out, and then sports fits somewhere in there. So that was their press conference. And other than A Way Out, Star Wars, and Need for Speed, and also their new, I guess a little bit of their new IP, other than those 4, I didn't really care. And there were 8 games they showed. They showed 8 games. 4 of them I care about. 4 of them I don't really. And if you really want to split up into fractions even more, one of them that I kind of didn't care about was the Battlefield. And that's only because I'm not really into Battlefield like that. But I can still see it looked cool. The other 3 were sports. So half of me says this conference was good. It was actually a little better in the sense that it had, I guess for lack of a better word, it had a little more pizzazz. It had a little more fun with itself than last year. But on one other hand, it was boring in the sense of there were games I really didn't care about. And the games I really didn't care about, they kind of dragged on a little. Although I'll admit the games that I didn't care about, actually, I'm sorry. The games I didn't care about, they didn't go too stretched out, but there was a little focus on it because it was sports. So I think the best way to sum up EA's press conference is it was good, but I wanted more out of it. Because we only had 8 titles. There's only 8 titles. And I said 4 of them I care about. 4 of them I didn't even care. And the other half I cared, half I didn't. The next problem is it was pretty, for only showing 8 titles, they didn't go as in-depth, oddly enough, which is odd because they went in-depth on some stuff, but not so much on others. In fact, the most in-depth they went on was Star Wars, which, granted, looked cool, but I didn't really care. And also, they only showed one EA Origins thing, which concerns me, because if you have this thing, why don't you show like a little teaser of like all your indies or something? Like that is the kind of thing I'll accept. Oh, here's a little development video with no gameplay trailers like you do every year, which they still did this year with Star Wars. Although admittedly we saw a ton of Star Wars footage, so I'll forgive them for that, which is okay. So I think I give this conference a C plus B minus. I'll give final judging later, but it's around that area of high C, low B, because it's very little lackluster, even for their sports titles, because I don't know, it felt a little lackluster even on the sports, and the stuff they did show was Battlefield 1 DLC, Need for Speed, which was cool, was new IP. A Way Out was new. It was a new indie title, which looked amazing. Battlefront looked really good, and then we have Anthem, which is coming at the Microsoft thing. But after that, they just kind of showed off sports, and not even that much of sports. So I felt like this was kind of a simple. It's a simple case of it was good when they went all out. When they went all out, it was awesome. But when they but when they kind of had, but then they died back. So each game had a peak and then slowly went down. Then another peak and slowly went down, and the peak ranges depending on your play style and what you like. And for me, it was literally half and half. Some peaks were high, some peaks were low. So that's what gives me C minus, B plus, one of those two. I'll have a final grading at the end of E3. So thank you guys for watching. Tomorrow, of course, is Microsoft and Bethesda. Keep tuning in for that. Thank you guys for watching and enjoying. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.